Mega grab bag. What's going on? I'm zmoT. This is going to be a busy video. I'm going to try to move it along as fast as I can. Apologies in advance if I can't. So, lots of things to talk about. Matchmaking, Flotsams, the Tiny Shock, Imitation Game, many things. Imitation Game will be last. I'm going to quickly show you, as far as my VP, as you can see here, has dropped considerably. We're down 14 at the moment. Part of that is the fact that I've been rated more. Let's scroll down here, show you my daily summary right about here. As you can see here, rated 19 times. That is about somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 more than I'm used to. But I've also only had 8 PvP spawns yesterday, so a bad combination. Typically average about somewhere like 12 to 14 PvP spawns, so 8 is rough going. Now have a look at this. I wanted to show you look at this. Defend. Lots and lots of defends going on here. As you saw there, I got rated by 14 players, but for 19 times. The same players rated me 5 different times. I got rated by one person 3 times. There's a whole bunch of weirdness going on here. I'm basically spawning the same people over and over and over again. Can't show you that, but there's this weird duplicate thing happening. Seems like they've tightened the spawn rates. So I have spawned no one over, like, Iron Man. That's it. Like, anyone above Iron Man I have not spawned, but I've been spawned by, where are you, Lonely Star? Lonely Star has spawned me 3 times. I've spawned Zero, I think 4 times. I've spawned Jamar twice. Like, it's just this weird little incestuous pool now. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I used to spawn people that were like 1250, 1300, like 1 out of every 30 times, and now I don't get any of those. So it seems like you only spawn people within about 100 VP of you or so right now, which is really weird. But again, we're in week number 1 of that, so I just wanted to show you that. I mean, it's really quite strange. My intel is through the roof, which is fantastic. I don't really care about my leaderboard position much at all. I mean, the VP and the leaderboard is just a bonus of clearing my map. If I fall down, I don't really care all that much. I wanted to show you the Flotsam. You see that I've actually moved them forward 1, 2, 3, and the reason for that is they do amazing things when they explode. So people have been talking about that. Where is this raid? Pavel. So when the core explodes, your Flotsams explode. So that's why you see I got this one back here. Not ideal. What you want is to have them up front so people have to deal with them, or when the core explodes, they lose a whole bunch of their troops. So people have no idea, like they're trying to shock them. Don't worry about Flotsams. Just know that they're going to absolutely ruin your life. Watch this. After the core explodes, they lose troops. So I would highly recommend placing a Flotsam now before people figure out how to deal with them. The only thing is, they tend to attract tank medic players because tanks outrange them. So it's a kind of a torn. I would deploy them now while people don't know how to deal with them, and then in the next couple weeks, I would not use them because all they do is take intel from people who are using squishy troops, and I tend to try to target people who have tank medic instead with doom cannons and shock blasters and stuff like that. Let's move along onto the TMOS account, and we will try to get the Imitation Game down. It should be very easy. The Imitation Game is very easy to start with. Lots of duplicates. Maybe the new matchmaking will affect Imitation Game. I kind of doubt it. Low VP players, but maybe they tweaked that as well. I really doubt it. But the Tiny Shock has been absolutely magical. I have a single sniper account, which is on HQ11, I think, and I have been absolutely crushing everyone. Because at that level, all you have to do is drop warriors and shock the cannons and boom cannons, and you will lose 0 troops. It works incredibly well. So if you're a low level, try the Tiny Shock. If you're not low level, use the Tiny Shock anyways, but it's just so good. And by the way, you cannot shock your troops with the Tiny Shock. You can't shock bullet with it. That would have been a cool way to go, but it doesn't work. Stage 2, let's go. I'm just going to drop my troops and we will carry on. I don't know if I've attacked this squiggle base or not. The way that I've been using the Tiny Shock the most is using Heavy Zooka or All Zooka just shock that front rocket launcher that everyone seems to have, and then you can drop your troops with ease. Saves you like 2 to 3 smokes a lot of the time, and that has worked out very, very well. I just used way too many barrages, so hopefully I can actually take this down with GBE. Yes, we can. Let's try to shock brick with a tiny shock. Doesn't work. Does not work. Would have been epic to be able to shock bullet that way. Would have obviously had to be pretty accurate, but oh, crystal, crystal, crystal. Good news. So let me know if you have any questions. I've gone over the matchmaking thing pretty quickly. Not many people are affected, probably in the neighborhood of like 1,000 or so, which is not a big pool of players. So if you have any questions about what's going on there, please by all means let me know. But otherwise, the Flotsams, try to get them up front. You will see an immediate benefit. I'm getting intel and diamonds like crazy from them. Okay, so same sort of thing. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about for this simple drop where you shock the rocket launcher. This won't be a perfect example, but it should give you the idea of what we're talking about. Let's get walking sideways. Love the side drop. Let them start to turn up on their own, and then we're going to flare to the back. I flared way too late, but it should still work reasonably well. Now, we're just going to drop the tiny shock on that rocket launcher. Then we shouldn't have to use a smoke until we get way up there, because obviously there is nothing in range. So we're going to drop our first smoke right about here, dealing with that machine gun. Little bit late, wasn't in the perfect spot, but nonetheless still going. And the beauty of this is, even though we were in the rocket launcher's range, we still have the delay because the rocket launcher was shocked, and when they're shocked they don't actually lose the delay. So we should be able to take this out with no shock. Let's just use like a tiny shock here, and here, and here, and here. And then, badoom, goodbye. So you see how we still had the delay with that rocket launcher? Works very well. Tiny shock, 3 GBE in order to save us probably 6 or 7 or 8. Is that a second crystal? Oh my G! That's amazing. I can't believe I just said oh my G. That is pretty awesome though. Let's go. Shock launcher. Does this range the side? Yes, it does. Okay, so let's go right up the gut. Is there anything behind those statues? No. Let's keep our crystal. I wanted to attack as fast as I possibly could, just in case we're on some sort of weird, wonky crystal streak, which does happen, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, start attacking those NPCs, because there are crazy crystal streaks where you get like 8 crystals in a row, and it's a good reason to attack your NPCs if you're not doing that already. Plus the prototype parts and all of the other goodness. But I don't tend to attack NPCs anymore because I just don't have the patience. Let's get right up to there. We're going to use the tiny shock anyways, just to try to save 1 or 2 smokes. I know that it's probably not as economical as it should be, but I just love using it. So we might as well, and it gives us, that way we don't have to worry about losing the delay. And if you don't know what the delay is, please comment, because I have talked about the delay for years and years and years, and it is so incredibly critical to make sure that you keep it, and every time I talk about it, I end up losing it. So let's get rocking in here. We can just flare the core, use a tiny shock here, tiny shock here, tiny shock here, tiny shock here, and that should basically do it. Probably not the best way to attack that base, but tiny shocks are so cheap and so good. Why BART things out when you can just tiny shock them? Please try the tiny shock. I'm in random task forces, and I've seen no one use the tiny shock on operation hits. Please try it. It is so... Did I just lose my crystal streak? I think I did. Kubrick, definitely a dupe. We have attacked Kubrick probably 8 times in the past, I want to say. So we are definitely on a dupe. Imitation Game. Supercell, please fix Imitation Game. 1 day a week where we just keep seeing the same bases over and over again is beyond crazy. I mean, I get it. You have this procedurally generated Dr. T stages and stuff like that, but please just fix this, because this is beyond annoying to attack the same bases over and over again. Maybe that's part of the June update. Who knows? We don't have any idea what's coming in the June update. We just know what's not coming. And, uh-oh, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. I just lost the delay and got wrecked by a machine gun, so not a good combo. Not a good combo at all, but we can Tiny Shock here and here. What else can we Tiny Shock? Maybe I should only use Tiny Shocks for this episode of the War Factory. Let's do that. Let's only use Tiny Shocks, if at all possible. I don't know if it actually is possible, but probably should have Tiny Shocked that mortar up there. Stage 5, Kubrick. Is that a game, Kubrick? I think that was like an old video game from like the Coleco days. I didn't play it, I just think that maybe it is one. I think I've also talked about this before, I believe. What have we got? An easy base. Let's just go like so. The space is going to be ridiculous. This stage 6 by Ninja is not... By the way, is Ninja like a super famous YouTuber or something like that? I think everyone who plays Fortnite is named Ninja. I don't know what's going on there. If someone can update me on what's the happenings there, because I play that... I'm playing Zoms, which is kind of like Fortnite, and everyone is named Ninja, it seems like. I don't know what the deal with that is, but please, I assume he's like a big YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, Fortnite player or something like that, because everyone is named Ninja. It's one of those things that I am totally not up to pop culture references, but it's just so overdone that clearly someone out there is named Ninja. Now this path is going to be awkward, because we have to walk around this sawmill, and walking around big fat 5-unit buildings is never good. So hopefully they... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so managed to get there, I think, just by spreading the smokes as wide as we possibly can. We are going to get Tiny Shocks out here and here, and that should basically do it. We can just farm GBE, I think, now. Should have probably flared the core, but why not show off the power of the Tiny Shock a bit more? 30 seconds of power. Just so good. Let's Tiny Shock the headquarters. By the way, that does nothing. The headquarters doesn't shoot to start with, so throwing short forward Tiny Shocks on the headquarters doesn't really help anything. Lost 0 troops, that one as well. Wow. Tiny Shock power. Why use real shocks? I guess there's no real point to it, is there? Let's see. Stage 7. We've got some ice people here. Now, I've got messages from, I think it's Legolas, I think it was, saying just click on the gold storage and double it. So I think we're talking about 42% ice here. Let's see here. 29 plus 13. Look at that. So just double the purple part and on the gold storage, and it'll tell you their ice percentages. So thank you to that. Sending me emails all the time saying, why are you doing it the hard way? And I do it the hard way because I'm lazy, I guess. But I don't really care all that much, but now we know. So thank you for that kind email, sir. Where do we try and solo this? I'm not gonna try and solo this. I'm just gonna clear mines. We're gonna clear mines and attack one, and then we'll come back and do it properly the second time. So there's a whole bunch of mines in behind the statues. Not a terribly original place to hide them, but good on you for trying. We're going to clear mines here and here. We're going to clear this mine. I'm actually using mostly artillery, which is finally smart of me. Using artillery right now, if you have the tribes, is brilliant. If you don't have the tribes, get to HQ 18. Rush your HQ. I've seen so many players that play this game who don't rush their headquarters. This is not Clash of Clans. Not that I know what that means. Please rush your headquarters. Get to your headquarters to the highest possible level as fast as you possibly can. We are going to be able to set this up incredibly well. Let's get rid of this mortar as well. I think this is the one where that mine is hidden behind that tree right there. Let's have a look here. I think, let's have a quick scout here on stage 7. I believe this is the one with that hidden mine behind that. Look at that. The mine hidden behind that tree that should not be there. So like I was a young mangrove that is not actually a young mangrove. Look at that. It's like a double tree. Mangrove. This is not a young mangrove. So something weird happened to this person's tree, and they have a double tree that is grown together, and it hides mines like it should not. Every mine behind a tree should go transparent, and that one doesn't due to some weird overgrowth. So I've had this stage many times in the past. Be aware if you try to go up the side, there's going to be a mine that's going to ruin your life, and I've hit it way too many times. So finally, for the first time in the history of the game, I am not going to hit that mine. Thankfully we did scout though, because I didn't see that one mine hiding behind that shock launcher. And let's go, I suppose. We're just going to flare all the way across so they walk nice and flat. And then we will flare up, and things will be wonderful and good. Walking, walking, walking. I'm going to do a granny flare, grandma flare, grandpa flare, a Ryan flare, and we will sit right in there just to make sure that we get nice and skinny first. Up the gut is a far, far more efficient way to go. I like to go around the edges just to avoid most of the mines, but we had 2 attacks, so there's no need to do any of that. Did I just hit a mine anyways? Wow, I just got boom mined, I think. Not the end of the world. Managed to miss a mine hidden in there, so good mine hiding person. I want to get one of my trees to do that mutant young mangrove BS. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use tiny shocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiny shocks. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. This is not going well. We have too few tiny shocks. There we go, tiny shocks. So there we go, tiny shocks for the win. Let's flare the headquarters before we run out of time, because I did not plan this very well. Only tiny shocks, all the time. No regular shocks needed. Let's barrage the rest of our troops, just because that was not the way it should have gone. Nonetheless, very, very easy. 7 stages of imitation as per usual. Zookas, Zookas, Zookas. Many, many crystal. My rewards that time, I feel like were the best ever. Let's go back and have a quick look. Stage 1, intel, not bad. Stage 2, a shard, a crystal, a glow stick, and an intel. That is epically good. A crystal, an intel. Did I have no bad stages? There's the bad stage. Had to go ask about it. Stage 6, we got a shard. Stage 7, we got a shard. So very, very good rewards today. Hopefully you guys do as good or better than that. Gonna get some raw crystals here. Okay, so back to the matchmaking thing. Am I still on the leaderboard? Let's have a look here. Still on the leaderboard. So back to the matchmaking thing. I am getting way more intel and way more diamonds, and I wanted to give a shout out to all the players who have spawned me. Let's see, Jamar gave me some dimes, Mr. Where are you? Zero gave me dimes, Hutta gave me dimes, Kasparov has given me dimes, Iron Man has given me dimes. I don't know if Petu is perhaps above my spawn rate, have not seen him, so anyways, big shout out to all those players who have been giving me diamonds and intel. For months and months and months, I have been giving intel and diamonds to anyone who I recognize, and this whole new matchmaking thing has been fantastic. I have been getting so many, and as part of the Global Pushers group on Telegram, I'm chatting with a bunch of those players. So thanks to all of them who have given me diamonds and intel. Greatly, greatly appreciated, and I'm going to keep giving them back because it is paying off in spades right now. It is coming to fruition. I don't know any other way to say it that's fancy. But hopefully you learned something about the Tiny Shock. Hopefully you learned something about the Flotsam. Oh, by the way, that's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Let's switch back. I wanted to talk one more thing about the Flotsam, just so that you are aware. I realize you probably are, but let's go to the Z account. So the Flotsam has 2 ranges. It has its standard shooting range, which is from 2.3 to 10 tiles. It can shoot as far as 10 tiles and as close as 2.3. That means it's got a little blind spot in it, as you can see. But its explosion radius is only 6.5 tiles. So when you're looking at this, that's not how big its explosion is going to be. Its explosion is going to be to about the edge of the mortar, 6.5 tiles. So that's why I've moved them forward a little bit. I would highly recommend putting them in front of your base. Anyone who wants to smoke to the back, they can take whatever they want from my base. If you're going to smoke to the back on my base, it's yours. I have no problems with that whatsoever. So I should almost move my base back to here, but then people would just critter me, so I don't really want to do that. Nonetheless, quick video. We managed to keep it under 20 minutes. I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in. Hit me up with your comments if I've missed anything, or if you noticed anything different with matchmaking, or if you like it or hate it, or you love the Flotsam or hate the Flotsam, or love the Tiny Shock or hate the Tiny Shock, or hate the fact that I have done multiple topics in one video. Anyways, I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in, and I shall talk to you later on today or tomorrow. Peace.